friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sophia. This is Sophia Sees Beauty, where we talk about all things beauty and makeup. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. So today I'm going to be reviewing the new holiday palette from Byredo. I'm going to be going through all the details of this palette, doing swatches, doing a demo, sharing my final thoughts. If you want to see how I got this glam sort of gothic holiday look today, stay tuned. So a little bit about the brand. If you have not heard of Byredo before, they are first and foremost a fragrance house. So you might know them from some of the fragrances that they've launched, really popular ones such as Gypsy Water. But anyway, they released a makeup collection probably about a year ago, and they have some really interesting things in the collection. One of them are their 5-pan eyeshadow palettes, and that's what we have today. This is the newest eyeshadow palette that they launched. It is a limited edition, it's for holiday, and it definitely has a very unique color scheme that we're going to be going through. These do retail for $70, so it is a luxury price point, and you're definitely going to see that in sort of like, you know, the outside packaging, the actual component, and also in the formula. I have these eyeshadows in a couple of other colors. I'm going to compare it with one of the other most recent eyeshadow palettes that they released, so you can kind of see the difference between them. So yeah, let's first get into an unboxing. All right, so let's just do a quick unboxing of this so you guys can see the presentation of how this comes. It always comes with some fragrance samples as well when you get it in the mail, but this is what the packaging looks like. You basically just slide it out right there, and you see there we have the palette, and it comes in a little pouch like this, always super cute. And then there we go, that is the palette. So let's kind of talk about this packaging first. This packaging, and I will show you, it is plastic on the back, but it's supposed to look like water when a raindrop or when a drop of water sort of like goes into the water and creates a ripple effect. When I first saw these, I thought it kind of looked like almost like an oyster or something that you might find like a treasure on the bottom of the sea, but it is in fact supposed to be a raindrop effect. So I just wanted to kind of show you the packaging, what the actual component looks like, and you will see it has all of the color names on the back there. When you open up the palette, here we go, you get a pretty decent sized mirror, and then you get all 5 of the colors. And this is like, it's not too heavy, but it feels very substantial. I think my only gripe with the packaging, especially when I first got one of these, is that I really wanted this effect to be all around the palette. I don't really like how it's plastic on the back here. And I do want to show you guys just the difference with this limited edition palette. So this has sort of like a gunmetal effect to it, and this is what one of their normal like regular edition palettes looks like. So this has definitely, you know, it's more of a golden tone. So just wanted to show you that. I think they did a nice job making this look a little bit, you know, a little special, a little sexier, a little more fun for holidays. So I definitely appreciate that. And it's also easier to find when you're sort of going through your makeup drawer or your makeup bag to be able to find it. So that is the packaging for you guys. Okay, so let's actually talk about the product. I'm first gonna read the way that the brand describes this palette on their website. And this says, a limited edition in the Eyeshadow 5 Colors collection, Fetes Noires is a harmony of 5 deep shades of black in 5 unique finishes. Housed in a limited edition gunmetal version of our treasured Raindrop Compact, the long-lasting, non-creasing formula gives perfect coverage with rich color payoff, lightweight, creamy, and blendable, especially with the fingers. Fetes Noires is a multi-dimensional spectrum of anti-color. So let's dive into this palette. Okay, so how about some close-ups of the palette now? As you can see, this is, as it was described on the website, 5 shades of black in different finishes. So we've got kind of like a sparkly, very much like pressed glitter right here. We've got 3 shimmers right here, and then we have a matte black here, which is really great because it kind of helps you really build and deepen up the look. So we're gonna swatch all of these right now. I'm gonna tell you the names and sort of how Byredo just describes each of the shades on their site. Okay, so first we have Gothique, an intense matte black. So that is very much a matte black. It's pretty dark and pretty blendable. Next we have Wrath, which is a matte black with shimmering silver glitter. So it's very much matte, and then it's got sort of that glitter in it. And I would say this is, the good thing about this is it's very blendable, and the glitter is definitely there, but it's not like too showy. Next we have Fetes, a black golden gray. And so this is the lightest color in the palette. It's basically, it's definitely more of a gray. It's definitely more of a metallic-y gray, whereas this one was more of a matte with kind of like glitter particles within. This is my favorite color in the palette, and it's called Eternité, a scintillating deep gray. And that is, it's really pretty. It's kind of has a black base and then has kind of a gray shimmer on top of it. And this is actually what I am wearing all over my lid. And I went in with that and I thought, wow, I could really much just use this all over the lid if I wanted to. And next we have Whisper, a top coat with luminous black glitter. And I actually don't want to swatch this. I want to show you what it looks like on my finger, because when you put it on the finger, you're able to see more so like the dimension. When I swatch it, it doesn't, like, it kind of just crumbles onto the hand. And you'll see in the demo, like, I mostly just tapped this on the center of the lid, and I found that that was the perfect way to use this. And Byredo describes it as a top coat. This isn't really the type of shade that you would go in and kind of put all over the lid. You might want to use a little bit of glitter glue for tack, or, you know, put it on like maybe a tackier base, but I found it perfect just kind of like tapping it on the center of the lid, and it just adds a little bit of sparkle, which I think is really beautiful and really fits with the theme of the palette. Okay, let's get into how I created this look. So first I went in with Eternité, which is this sort of shimmery gray. I put that all over the lid just to create a nice sort of shimmery base. I think that this is sort of like a mid-tone gray black, so this worked super well. I loved the way that it looked. And then I went in with Wrath, which is that matte black that has a little bit of silver shimmer in it, and I just used that to sort of deepen out the outer corner. Then I went in with Mystères, which is this lightest color in the center, and I brightened up the inner half of the eye, put it there. I also went and put that color under the lash line to kind of create a little bit of smokiness, but I didn't want it to be too dark, so I decided to use that lightest color. Then I went in with the matte black, which is called Gothique, and I used that to deepen up the entire look, to really add some dimension. Finally, I went in with the glitter, and I just tapped that in the center of the eye with my finger. At the end of the look, I wanted to just kind of brighten up the inner corner a little bit, so I dipped into my mini Xenon palette, and I took this shimmery silver from that palette, and I just kind of put that right in the inner corner. Finally, I blended everything out with my Charlotte Tilbury powder just to kind of create a blended effect. I also added some winged liner. Here I'm using the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper. And then to the bottom lash line, I added the Makeup by Mario black eyeliner just to further deepen things up. And then I added some lashes and mascara. So what do you guys think? How do you like this look? I will add some close-ups right here so you can see what it looks like, kind of in just natural light. I actually think this look looks a lot better in person, and I think part of what makes it super like dramatic and beautiful and smoky is adding lots of lashes and mascara. I think in order to balance this palette out, you really do need just a little bit more lash, like a little bit more oomph. This definitely is like a going out palette. It's not an everyday palette, but I really like how this look came out. I love the lashes. I'm going to a concert tonight, so I'm actually gonna keep this on and wear it out tonight. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that this look turned out. I also want to mention that I did get quite a bit of fallout using this palette, and I think that's to be expected. I think normally if I wasn't like testing this for science, then I would have just done my eyes first. Basically what I did is I just took a little, you know, cotton pad with a little bit of like face spray on it. I wiped away the fallout, and then I just kind of redid my concealer. So it really was no muss, no fuss. But I did want to mention I got a little bit of fallout, which I think from a black palette with a lot of glitter in it is kind of to be expected. So far, I haven't gotten any fallout since I've put it on, so that's good to know. Okay guys, before I share my final thoughts, I just wanted to compare this palette with two other palettes in my collection that you may be thinking of getting or might be alternatives to this palette. The first one is actually not very similar, but it is the other palette that recently was launched by Byredo. It's called Metal Boots in the Snow. And I just wanted to show you guys these side by side. Fetes Noires is definitely like a completely different color story. If you're going in between them, I think you really need to ask yourself, do I do a lot of smoky looks? Do I like different finishes? Because that's really what this is about. It's really about like having access to a lot of different finishes, you know, having like a very monochrome look, but kind of adding some dimension with the glitter, etc. The Metal Boots in the Snow is very much a beautiful like winter holiday color story to me. This is more approachable for somebody that wants something really festive and wintry, but they're maybe a little bit intimidated by this palette. I think what makes them similar is actually the formula. In the other Byredo palettes that I own, I do not get this glitter formula. So I think that kind of adding this in is sort of a nice little holiday touch that they did. So I think the formulas are very comparable. What makes them unique is this glitter formula, but to me, the color stories are very different. Okay, so lastly, the other palette that kind of reminded me of this palette was the recently released mini Xenon palette from Natasha Denona. And I actually did dip into this during my look creation and put the silver color in the inner corner. Just taking a look at these, the major differences here is that the Byredo palette definitely leans more in the direction of shimmers. Like they're trying to give you different finishes. If you like shimmers and glitters, I would go for this palette. This palette is also $70 and this palette is also $25. So maybe keep that in mind. This is a little bit more of like a luxurious experience. The packaging is really nice. I think that this is a little bit more giftable, but $70 is a lot for a palette, so I just wanted to point that out. The Natasha Denona Mini Xenon is very much based off of mattes. It's all about creating a smoky look using mattes and then kind of brightening everything up with this silver shade in the middle. I really love how there's a good range of tones here. So I think that these are actually excellent companion palettes because you could use the mattes that are in this palette to sort of blend out the darkness that comes from the Byredo. So I just wanted to point that out. If you're someone that like really is looking for mattes, maybe don't get this unless you kind of have a basic palette like this to dip into for blending and kind of deepening up the look. But I just wanted to sort of share my thoughts on what makes this different, because I know a lot of you guys love Natasha Denona and maybe you already bought this palette. I love both of them, but they're just like very much different vibes. This is more, you know, fun and holiday, and this one is just more like basic, good to have. I love to use this for smoky looks all the time. All right, so let's hear my final thoughts on this palette. What do I think of this? First off, I think it's really interesting that Byredo did this palette for holiday. I think it's good that it's a limited edition because I don't think that this palette is for everyone. I think that people look at this palette and you're either like, wow, that's really cool, that's really different, I wanna try that out. Or you're like, whoa, that's super intimidating, an all black palette, what are they doing here? But the thing is, like, Byredo is a very like creative, different brand. They kind of like thrive off of doing things a little bit different, and they're very design oriented. So I kind of saw this and at first I was like, really? That's their holiday palette? And like the campaign is very like gothic. It's like a gothic Christmas. Like it seems more Halloween to me. But then I stepped back and I thought, no, that's actually really cool. This is unlike anything that anybody else is doing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but just the brands I'm paying attention to are not doing all black palettes. I love how they kind of celebrated the color of black in many different finishes. So to me, especially if you already have Byredo palettes or you already have a lot of makeup, this is something that is like super, super interesting. I honestly don't think that I would gift this to somebody because I think it's a little bit less accessible. I would probably gift the metal boots in the snow, to be honest, if I were going to be gifting a Byredo palette. But I think that as a limited edition item, this is super nice and collectible. I love the packaging. I think it's pretty. I display these on my vanity in my little refer organizer for palettes, and I love the way that it looks. So I'm really happy with the packaging. I'm also really happy with the formula. I feel like this stands up to all the other Byredo palettes that I've had. I feel like they all perform really, really well. And remember guys, like you don't have to wear every color on your eyes. Like I used all of the colors, but you could just wear one all over your eyes and then put a little bit of glitter on top. So don't feel too intimidated by this. I think I was a little bit intimidated, but once I started putting the look all over my eyes, I was like, oh no, wait, this is really cool. These are really nice, easy to work with, blendable formulas. And at the end of the day, you are gonna get a smoky look. So I think at the end of the day, who is this for? It's for somebody that loves Byredo, for someone that loves kind of these dark, gothic, smoky looks. It's for somebody that loves luxury makeup and a luxury experience, and you're just really into this color story and playing with different finishes and glitters, etc. If you're more of a like natural beauty and you like natural looks and maybe you don't go out all that much or you don't wear smoky eyes, I don't think that this is for you. I think I would check out some of the other colors in the Byredo collection. But overall, I think this is like super fun for holiday. I'm super happy that I got this. I think it's very, very interesting and I definitely would recommend. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked that review. Definitely give me your feedback. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and comment below and let me know, what do you think about this palette? Did you pick it up already? Are you thinking about getting it? Are you thinking about getting any of the other Byredo palettes? Definitely comment below and let me know. Also, I would love it if you would follow me on Instagram at Sophia Sees Beauty. I will put my handle on the screen and down below for you guys. I'm gonna be doing a little Byredo unboxing there. I like to do lots of little try-ons and hauls, and I post all kinds of sales for the holidays and just throughout the year. So definitely follow me there if you wanna see some of the other items that I have from Byredo or that I'm just hauling around the holidays. So I'd love to see you there. Anyway, hope you like this. I hope you are all doing well, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.